Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Mark Di Pasquale here from Adjusted Family Chiropractic in Melbourne, Australia. And today I bring you this important information here on depression, dopamine, and drug-free interventions, and in particular, how prevalent it is. There's some research we're actually going to go through to show you exactly how many people in our society do deal with depression, how the effects of dopamine play out in that, um, other interventions that people use. And also, one of the things we need to be wary of is how this is affecting our youth these days, especially with a lot more technology available to them, and how that can be affecting their state of mind as well, and also how chiropractic care supports mental health. So, all very, very important. We'll get straight into it. So, unprecedented changes. In 2020, the Journal of Psychiatric Research outlined unprecedented changes in the global burden of depression, stating that from 1990 to 2017, the incident cases worldwide amplified from 172 million to 258 million, representing an increase of 49.8%. The American Psychological Association published that the rate of depression in US adolescents aged 12 to 17 increased 52% just between the years of 2005 to 2017. And between 2009 and 2017, there was a 63% increase in depression seen in young adults aged 18 to 25. I wonder if social media and the internet and technology has anything to do with that. While mental health issues in our world populations have been steadily escalating for the last 3 decades, most recently it became a primary public health concern as the COVID-19 pandemic brought the issue to the forefront. The World Health Organization, the WHO, released a scientific brief in March 2022 stating that the already existing global prevalence of anxiety and depression increased by yet another 25% in 2020, as populations struggled with the fear and social isolation that accompanied the stress of quarantines and shutdowns. Absolutely remarkable. As 2020 turned the spotlight on the problem, authorities recognized it was long overdue. Dr. Tedros Adhanom, World Health Organization Director General, stated, "The information we have now about the impact of COVID-19 on the world's mental health is just the tip of the iceberg. This is a wake-up call to all countries to pay more attention to mental health and do a better job of supporting their population's mental health." So, not just in your head, various factors surrounding the scientific study of anxiety, depression, and addictions, which often go hand in hand. Mentally, patients may exhibit reduced motivation, difficulty focusing, and may find themselves unnaturally feeling anhedonia, which is the term used to describe a decrease in pleasure for things previously enjoyed. They may feel hopeless, alone, or even suicidal. Now, addictive overindulgence adds a complicating element and is often a concurrent finding that can be a contributing factor in causing depression, or may be part of the aftermath of coping with it. Examples may include recreational or prescription drug use, alcohol, obsessive compulsive behaviors, sex, shopping, food consumption, and within the last several decades, technology addiction can be added to this list as a 21st century factor. What is increasingly important to recognize is that issues with mental health affect the entire body and are not just in your head. Physical symptoms are commonplace. Vestibular symptoms such as rapid breathing, lightheadedness, and dizziness may accompany mental disorders. Motor movement and balance issues are another possible feature. Fatigue, appetite, tolerance for pain, aching muscles, headaches, sleep, vision, and GI issues are yet other physical maladies that commonly manifest with depression. Long-term physical consequences are also acknowledged. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, depression increases the risk for many types of health problems such as diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. It is evident we test the nervous system, and we do see, and a lot of the things that have just been mentioned here in this paper will be closely related to an upregulation of the sympathetic nervous system, and a downward regulation of the parasympathetic nervous system. So remember, the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight response. So when our brain, our nervous system, is stressed because of the input coming in, and this is where we start to shed a light on a lot of things with regards to drug use and stimulants and technologies, etc. This is where our nervous system just fails to cope with regards to all the input. Particularly relevant in chiropractic clinics, symptoms of back, joint, and limb pain that can accompany depression are highly common. Within primary care settings, a difficulty is that a high percentage of patients with depression present exclusively with physical symptoms, which may be interpreted as symptoms of a somatic illness. This can result in undiagnosed depression. So somatic meaning organ systems, glands, etc. So this is where we're just going for these symptoms. It's a little bit of a red herring, seeing that the symptoms often aren't the underlying cause of a problem, and the symptoms are part of a underlying and bigger problem as well. So technology, dopamine, and mental decline. Coming to the forefront of behavioral research is the study of dopamine, one of several neurotransmitters associated with depression. Often linked with concepts of pleasure and reward, dopamine is also connected with pain, including addictions and motivated behavior, which determines how relevant something is to a person. Scientific correlations are linking the mass use of technology in the last 30 years with the upsurge of anxiety and depression that we are seeing across the globe. Specifically, the associations relate back to the unnatural stimulation of dopamine and how it is affecting our biochemistry. The chiropractic profession has long recognized the role of thoughts, trauma, and toxins, the 3 Ts, in the realm of health and disease. Technology, in this sense, has become a toxin that also affects our thoughts and drives behavior. Addiction to smartphones is widespread in the world today. 6.64 billion people utilize one. This translates to 84% of the world population. As recounted on CNN, a 2016 poll from Common Sense Media stated that 50% of teens self-reported that they felt addicted to their mobile devices. A 2018 Pew Research report showed that 45% of teens said that they use the internet almost all the time. Yet other polls show the overwhelming number of times people check their phones every day, slaves to every notification, even sleeping next to the devices. Former Facebook executive Tim Kendall told the US Congress that the company intentionally made its product as addictive as cigarettes, and it's causing all kinds of mental health issues. And I think it is eroding aspects of society. There are reasons that tech masters like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates choose to limit the use of tech for their own children. A former vice president of user growth at Facebook, Chamath Palihapitiya, told a group of Stanford students he felt guilty. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat are also Examples of sites that leverage the same neural circuitry in the brain that is used by slot machines, online games, and drugs like cocaine that affect dopamine to create addictions to the activity and keep drawing you back. Sites manipulate negative and feedback and positive feedback to draw you in so that you become a habitual user. Very deliberate algorithms are used to leverage people's dopamine reward-driven circuitry across cyberspace. Social media injustice and the dopamine connection. Dopamine has a natural role. It is the chemical that gets released when we eat something delicious, after we exercise, when we have sex, and when we have meaningful social interactions. Our bodies are wired for the occasional treat of pleasure, not for 24/7 triggers for dopamine release. When overabundance is available at the level that modern technology offers, it exploits vulnerabilities in human psychology. The initial stimulus to social media creates a release of dopamine along with opiates and other neurochemicals that reinforce the behavior and make it habit forming. Over time, less and less dopamine is produced with the activity, and the brain craves more time spent to try to replace the feeling. The natural balance needed between pleasure, pain, homeostasis is severely altered. When not playing, checking likes, or interacting in the addictive activity, dopamine levels decrease and very real withdrawal symptoms set in, including depression, restlessness, difficulty focusing, mood swings, and nausea. Any parent that has tried to take a smartphone away from a child or teen can relate to the aftermath. Technology has flown under the radar for decades as society has related mental health issues to situations or substances. In our modern world, dopamine responses to technology are just as powerful, and our youngest generations are paying the highest price. Social media, games, and the programmed intent of addiction behind them make limiting the use of technology applications a crucial choice. The study from the American Psychological Association cited at the beginning of this paper, which reported 52 to 63% increases in depression with adolescents and young adults, also studied older adults. Interestingly, that same study reported no significant increase in the percentage of older adults experiencing depression. During the corresponding time periods, a primary difference is that older adults, particularly those over 65, are living more traditionally and not overindulging in technology as their primary social outlet. In 2018, BMC Psychiatry article called the positive correlation between smartphone addiction and depression alarming. Featured in the documentary The Social Dilemma, the author of the book Dopamine Nation, Dr. Anna Lemke, professor and chief of the Stanford Addiction Medicine Dual Diagnostic Clinic, outlines the role that dopamine plays in addiction and how the overabundance of stimulants in our modern society alters the release of it and keeps us craving more and more. Every like, recognition, validation, and response in the social media is a little burst of dopamine. The reactions that we continually crave and check input for on group chats do the same. Understanding and altering these connections between our everyday behaviors and depression can be life-saving. How chiropractic care supports mental health. Well, the 21st century mental health crisis that we are facing is not the result of a Prozac deficiency. With the side effects and other dangers associated with selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, more and more patients are seeking out drug-free interventions that aid with depression and the physical issues that go along with it. As primary health providers, doctors of chiropractic, DCs, are uniquely positioned to support the mental health of their patients, starting with patient intake, health assessment, forms addressing questions specific to mental health in addition to the traditional physical symptoms survey open up the conversations with patients. Very specific questioning regarding a patient's state of mind and potential for violence or self-harm is paramount, even if they present with only back or joint pain. Chiropractic care influences the neuromusculoskeletal system to optimize function and reduce joint pain that may accompany depression. A 2020 literature search outlined the Acta Biomedica concluded that chiropractic and spinal manipulative therapies, along with vagal nerve stimulation, may be regarded as care options for depression. Several scientific studies have concluded that chiropractic adjustments can increase hormones like oxytocin, which aid in feelings of connectedness and also modulate pain. Maximizing joint function can also affect other physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle pain, balance issues, or dizziness. Physiotherapy to relax musculature is available in most offices to reduce muscle spasm and promote relaxation. Along with heavy technology use, patients will often exhibit postural deformity. Tech neck or text neck syndrome refers to a straightening of the cervical curve and anterior weight bearing of the head that can put pressure on the spinal joints and lead to premature degeneration. As DCs adjust to maximize joint function in the neck, they also work to educate patients about tech neck and restore the cervical curve through exercises and strengthening to reinforce natural posture. New advances have also been made in the field of cognitive behavioral therapy, another drug-free approach for individuals that may need focused help for intense mood disturbances, heavy habits, addictions, or getting through tough withdrawal periods. Chiropractors work with other health professionals to provide co-care and referrals for patients that may require such interventions, medications, or drug tapering to stop a prescription. DCs can also work with integrated care teams to recommend blood work and other labs to aid in diagnosis. In addition, doctors of chiropractic are equipped to offer recommendations for lifestyle change to help shift neurotransmitter function back to a state of homeostasis, such as abstaining from technology addictive behaviors, reinstated normal sleep patterns, stress relief techniques like meditation, mindfulness, or yoga, exercise routines to encourage natural endorphin release, nutrition and or supplements to encourage the natural production of neurotransmitters and reduce stress. With strategies that optimize both physical and mental health outcomes, chiropractic care is a drug-free primary care option positioned on the front line to offer natural strategies to combat the epidemic of depression. So there you have it. There's a bit of a interesting paper there, just outlining, and I think a take-home would be, and one thing to pay attention to quite considerably, is the way that technology has really and is playing out in depression and dopamine hits, etc. So we've really got to look after our young. So, look, I hope you got a lot out of the this article today. I hope you found it beneficial. If you would like more information about anything that we've spoken about today, if you have any questions, please contact me. Bye for now, and have a healthier day.